In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how Forcepoint's Cloud Access Security Broker protects your users and their cloud applications no matter where they are located. I am specifically going to demonstrate a few of our capabilities around user behavior and anomaly detection. In one or two of the use cases, you will see Forcepoint's Cloud Data Protection solution in play, which is an integration of our Cloud Access Security Broker and our industry-leading DLP technology that provides the most comprehensive user and data protection. In this first demonstration or use case, I'm going to demonstrate the ability to prevent sensitive data from being downloaded from or uploaded to cloud storage. I'm not going to spend too much time on this use case as I have demonstrated it in previous videos, and I do highly recommend that you check those out on my YouTube channel. In this first example, I'm actually going to download a page of the 9/11 Commission report. As I've stated in a previous video, I've taken a fingerprint of the 9/11 Commission report, which is about a 600-page document, so it's pretty lengthy. The actual page that I used, I'm going to display here, it's actually about a page and a quarter, maybe a page and a half. So out of a 600-page document, this makes up less than 1% of that document. And I'm going to attempt to download that file now. Within a matter of seconds, Forcepoint's Cloud Data Protection solution is going to prevent me from downloading that document since I have a DLP policy in place to prohibit me from accessing and downloading that file. As I mentioned, Forcepoint's fingerprinting technology was used here, and the great thing about that is not only are we concerned about, obviously, the entire file from being exfilled, but we also want to look at those low and slow exfiltrations of data. So that's why we look for content similarity. As I mentioned, 1.5 pages of a 600-page document is less than 1% of a content match. So it's incredibly powerful and incredibly useful for many organizations. Second demonstration here, I'm going to jump over to my Box account and I'm going to attempt to upload an image file of a passport. I have a policy in place that prevents me from uploading passports, driver's licenses, personally identifiable information to the cloud. So within a matter of seconds, this transaction is going to be blocked as well. The cool thing here is that within the Forcepoint Cloud Data Protection solution, the optical character recognition technology is being leveraged to extract the text from that image file, identify the content, and then apply the appropriate policy. The second use case I'm going to demonstrate is the ability to detect and prevent a high number of data download activities in a short amount of time. This is typically indicative of a possible malicious insider or perhaps an external attacker that is attempting to exfil information. For the purposes of this demonstration, this policy should trigger after 3 or 4 file downloads from my cloud storage account within a 60-second time frame. I purposely set the threshold low for this video, but this policy can be tailored to meet the needs of your organization. So I'm going to jump back over to my OneDrive account, and I have just some basic documents here that I'm going to start to download. And again, it should trigger the policy after 2 or 3 transactions, but it looks like it did it already, likely because of the previous examples I've been running through already. But toward the end of the video, I'll jump into the actual Cloud Access Security Broker console and show you that those incidents were logged under the policy around high number of data download activities. The third use case is around blocking access to cloud applications based on the geographical location of the user. For the purposes of this demonstration, I have a rule in place that will block access to my Dropbox account if my IP address is not located in South Korea. Again, just like the last use case, this policy is extremely flexible. You can allow unfettered access to your cloud applications, or you can select 1, 2, or multiple countries where access is permitted. So I'm going to jump over to my Dropbox account and attempt to log in. Within a matter of seconds, access is blocked because my IP address is based in the United States, and my policy states only access is granted if I have an IP address in South Korea, or my location is in South Korea. The last use case is going to be around brute force protection. Pretty self-explanatory, but I have a few policies in place that is going to detect not only brute force attack from a single IP address, but against a single account. You can also set it up to detect successful access based on brute force attacks. There are a few policies that you can leverage within Forcepoint CASB. So I'm going to log back into my OneDrive, or excuse me, my Office 365 account here, or attempt to log in. I'm going to enter some bogus passwords to start triggering the events. So there's 1 failure, 2 failure. I believe after 3 or 4, it should trigger the brute force attack policy. Here's number 4. And as you see here, I've been blocked based on the policy I have in place. Now I'm going to quickly jump over to the CASB UI. You'll see here that these activities were logged. The first here you see a successful brute force attack on a single account. Prior to this video, I had actually tested out the brute force attack policy. After I triggered it, I then attempted to log in with the correct password. Now, while the password was correct, I was still blocked based on the policy. There's a time threshold after the last brute force attack attempt before that user will actually be granted access to the account, and that time frame is customizable. Just below that is a brute force attack from a single IP address, brute force attack on a single account. I also triggered the high number of data download activities in a short time frame. So just to touch on that, which I might not have covered during the actual demonstration piece, is that policy is looking for individual data transactions. So file downloads over a specified period of time. The policy I had in place, I believe, was over a 60-second period, looking for individual file downloads, and I believe the threshold was 5, but due to some previous testing, we hit that threshold rather quickly. There is a similar policy that is right down here, actually, suspicious cumulative volume of downloaded data, which is similar, but this is looking for total data volume, not individual incidents. So for instance, you could set up a policy that says if a user attempts to download 100 megabytes of data over a 5-minute period, we're going to block those transactions from occurring. So a little bit different, but also a little bit similar to the previous use case or previous policy I discovered. And then the first use case, the Office 365 DLP inspection, as well as the box transactions. So any of those data transactions, whether it's upload, download, sharing, any sort of data movement activity can be monitored and policy can be applied. Now, all the demonstrations I conducted showed block pages. You do not have to block any of those activities. I just use that for demonstration purposes. You can set up policies just for auditing, audit and notify, etc. You don't have to just block everything like I've done today. Now, let's say you want to investigate this particular incident or the user. From this incident console here, you can just simply click on the event. It gives you a little bit more context about what account was affected, where the attack originated from, and then it also gives you a quick look at the user's profile. And then from there, you can click on See Detailed User Page to get a better idea of how that user behaves. And as you can see here, we have some trend information over the last 30 days. And then we also have an incident timeline that gives you a very comprehensive look at that user's activity to really determine if the user is just poorly educated or if they are legitimately or intentionally trying to, cause harm to your organization. And it appears this user is as such. We have a lot of exfiltration attempts. The account has been attacked and there's been a successful brute force attack. There's been a significant amount of data leaving the organization or attempting to leave the organization, as we see here. So this is very, very good and enriched information that investigators or analysts can use to determine the actual intent of the user. Well, that concludes today's video demonstration. If you'd like a more in-depth product demonstration, please reach out to the Forcepoint Global Governments and Critical Infrastructure Inside Sales team at this email address, and we'd be happy to set that up. Thank you.